this. And let's put that down there out the way for a second. And go live. All right, awesome. So we should be live on Facebook. We are recording here, and let's just turn that one on as well. Double recording just to make sure in case something goes wrong. Morning, everybody. Who have we got? A lot of new faces in here this morning. Ron. Morning, Ron.
Hi, how you doing? Hello.
Good, thank you, man. Where are you from, Ron?
I'm from New Jersey.
New Jersey,
Cool. New Jersey.
Gilbert, how are you, mate?
Good, you?
Good, mate. Whereabouts are you, Gilbert?
Pensacola.
Okay. And Salcerio? Am I saying that right?
Sal.
Sal. We'll go with that. That's much easier.
Well, you probably don't understand. I'm from Sydney, Australia.
Okay. Mate, I'm just up the road. I'm on the Sunshine Coast.
Okay, what part?
Sunshine Coast. Just up past, just past
Okay.
Brizzy.
Yeah, okay.
JP, how are you, mate? I know you, buddy.
Yeah, good morning. Down the road as well.
Yeah, mate. And David, welcome, David. We've been chatting on Messenger a bit. How are you?
Hey, good. Yourself?
Good, mate. Thanks for joining. Louis Del Cruz. Hey, Louis. And Sukumar. Hey, Sukumar. We haven't chatted for a while, mate. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Gary?
Good, mate. And Megan. Hey, Megan. We've been chatting a bit too, but I haven't seen you join us on Release. All right. What else? We've got more people joining. Craig's just joined. Hey, Craig. How are you, mate? Let's connect this audio. Morning, Craig. All right. And if there's anybody watching on Facebook, so as we go through, if you're watching on Facebook, say good morning, say hello. If you've got any questions as we go through, post them in the comments on Facebook. Carlos, if you keep an eye on that for us, mate, that would be awesome. And if there's any comments or questions, either pop them in the chat or just pop your hand up or yell out as we go through anyway. So, everybody's here, I assume, because you want to hear or know more about the new feature that we launched, which is the MultiSIM, which is cool, that we launched last Friday, I think. I know it was a very late night for me by the time we pushed it out live anyway. I know there's a few people that have already got some multi-SIMs. But first of all, does everybody understand what that means now that we have multi-SIM in our accounts? Just give me a yes, no, hands up. Pop a comment in the chat if you understand what it means or don't understand. David, yes. I'll take it from silence from everyone else that that's a no. So effectively in the myCRMSIM accounts previously, when you would set up your account, you would have one sub account and one SIM, so one number. All right, Ron, so you're new to it, mate. Hey, Matt's just joining. Yeah, so previously you would have one sub account and one SIM card in your account, and that's it. So you can only send from one number. Now we've got the ability to add as many SIM cards as you want into your sub account and attach them to a user. So I'm going to go through an example of that in a minute on how we actually attach it and set it all up, and how to distribute the leads and everything through there. But I guess first of all, what does it mean? Why would you want to do it? What's the benefits of all that, right? So with SIM cards, basically we take over and utilize myCRMSIM instead of Twilio. So that means all your SMSs go through Android phone like this. We'll use this in a minute to show some examples. But the one limitation that I guess we really face with that is what I sort of call the rule of thumb, right? You can't send out SMSs faster than you could kind of like type it with your thumbs, hit send, type the next one, hit send. If you try and send out like a mass blast of SMS, you know, your account will get shut down. And then, yes, Matt, I think you'll let your Fathom in, mate. It's recorded anyway, it's on live, so Amanda can see it at any time, mate. And you can end up getting your card shut down if you're running too many messages at once through your SIM. So with multi-SIM, obviously, if you add another SIM, that allows you to send double the volume of messages through. And also, you may just have a business where you want to have dedicated numbers for dedicated people anyway. So I guess a simple way of thinking about that would be like an auto dealership is one I would consider, where you might have a sales desk, a service desk, and a repairs desk or something like that. So you might have 3 departments or something for a business. So you want a number for each department as a customer goes through their journey with the business. Does that kind of make sense to everyone? Give me a yes or a no in the comments. We know whether that general overview makes sense. So many thumbs, Matt. How did you do that? Awesome. Carlos, yes. I'm glad you understand, mate. Otherwise, I'd be questioning you. All right, so let me dive in. I will share my screen. Okay, let me just sort out my screens and make sure I've got things in the right places. Cool. Is everybody seeing my my demo, myCRMSIM account? We can all see that. Perfect. So in our accounts, I'm going to assume that most people here either have an account or you've got some understanding. Anyway, I won't go through the full installation process, but it's pretty simple. When you integrate myCRMSIM, you attach our app to your high-level account, and then you'll pull in your sub-accounts, add a device and a SIM card, and you just add the SIM card to your account. So that's what we've got here. So what you're looking at here, if you haven't seen it before, is a sub-account, and it's got a SIM card attached to it. Okay, that will just allow you to send your messages to and from through a mobile phone. So now what we can do, if I go, actually what I'll do, I'll go to my devices just quickly and just show you. So this is my device. So this is that's this phone that I'm holding in my hand here. All right, this phone, and it's got 2 SIM cards in it. Okay, so that's one, and that's the second one. So this is dual SIM phone, 2 SIM cards in here. Now, if I go into my sub accounts here, and I go, I want to manage an additional SIM. I'm just going to remove this because I had this connected already. Okay. Let me just come out of here. I'll go from scratch. All right, just let James in there. Hey, James, welcome aboard, mate. So if we want to add an extra SIM card to a sub account now, we're just going to manage additional SIM. Now, for you guys or anyone who's doing this for the very, very first time, and if you go into your account and click on that, yours will look a little bit different. If you don't have a SIM attached, you will only see this top part here up to this line, okay, until you've attached the SIM. I've already got 5 SIMs attached to my plan, so I already see this part. So if your number here is 0, you won't see the bottom part to begin with. Once you have attached some SIMs, then you will see the extra bits down the bottom here. So you just need to select the number of SIMs that you get and then submit that, and that will add extra SIMs to your plan. Now, one important thing that I do want to go through here with you guys, you'll see there is a little charge for extra SIMs. So if we just take our base account, for example, where it's $97 a month for 10 sub accounts, and that's 10 sub accounts with 1 SIM per account. So every additional SIM that you add on the $97 plan would be $10 to add an extra SIM, okay? Now, even if you have our 10 sub-account plan and you're only using 5 accounts and 5 SIMs, basically, if you want to add an extra SIM to that 5th account, you will still incur that extra charge for adding additional SIMs to any sub-account. So the minute you go over 1 SIM on a sub-account, you will incur a small extra fee for that. It's $10 on the 97 plan, $6 on the $297 plan, and $3 on the $497 plan, okay? So I just want to make sure that everybody does understand that. All right. Now, once you've picked your number of SIMs that you want, You can do that. If you don't want to do it anymore, you can just put it down to 0. You can type that to 0. It will cancel the subscription. That will take them all out. But to add them to your account, we'll just select the sub account. This is just going to show whatever sub accounts you've already attached. So I'll do that. And then the SIM must be attached to a user. Okay. So this way, the SIMs are mapped through the user. So you've got your default one and then ones that are attached to the user. And I'll explain a little bit more about how that works in a second. So we're going to pick user number 2. Okay, and I'm going to select the second SIM. So it's only showing me the option for the other unattached SIM at the moment. So I'm not going to close this down, but over here, we saw that I'd already attached one SIM to the main account. So that only leaves me one free SIM card. So I've just got to pick that one free SIM card and I'm going to assign that. Just pop confirm in here. Okay, now we should see that. Oh, that's good. That didn't work. Love it when you do that. And there we go. All right. So that's attached the second SIM to the specific user now in that account. All right. So now all that means in high level is that we've got 2 numbers that we can send from in any way that we want. Now, the way that high level will now work is that if you're sending messages through a workflow, for example, then high level is going to look and see which number, if the lead, I beg your pardon, has someone assigned to them, then it will send the message from the assigned user. All right. If there's no assigned user with an assigned SIM number, it will just use the default number there. Does that make sense?
Gary, can I ask a quick question?
Shoot, mate.
So is essentially the advantage of this to have multiple SIM card, multiple phone numbers for, let's say, departments within a business, like you said before, sales, support, whatever. So that when the calls are coming in, is this to do with connecting to like bots for separate knowledge bases and communications relating to that specific phone number?
No, it doesn't have to be for connecting to different bots. It's more for the departments, if you want to have a separate number for departments, and also for people that are doing database reactivations. This is the main reason why people wanted this, because if you're doing a database reactivation, depending on the plans that you're on, and this depends, but like the max that we would ever recommend running a database reactivation at is one SMS per minute. So if you've got 2 SIM cards, now you can effectively split that across 2 SIM cards, so you could run 2 per minute. Okay. But 4, you can do 4 per minute. So it ups the volume that you can do per day if you want to send out more messages. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool.
Could it also be assigned to different like bot knowledge bases based on the phone number itself?
The number?
So if you had, for example, like an inbound lead, let's call it support or sales bot, and then you had like a support bot for existing customers, for example, that went to a different phone number, would that apply?
It would still apply because the bot would just be replying from whatever the assigned lead is anyway.
Oh, okay. So it's not so much the case of the phone number. It's just, okay, well, are you a lead or is this a sales call? And then it would take over. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's purely going to take it from here, like high, because that's a high level thing. High level will look and go, okay, what user is assigned? And then it looks and says, okay, well, that user is assigned. And then our system will go, well, that user has this number assigned to them. So send the message from that number. Make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry, was there someone else didn't make sense, or?
That was me. I said, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. That's all right, mate. Well, if you've got more questions, we can do a bit more another time, or sorry, through this anyway. Okay, where was I at? Yeah, so that's all that will happen now. So as you go through automations, through workflows, if this user is assigned, okay, and we've got, I'll put them to GHL user 2. So it will always send from this second number to a lead now. All right, so if I was to send, I have a, I think it was this one. Just gonna check here. So if I go into high level, now if I add is a test, if I just add them to that workflow, all right. So it's sending from this user, okay, because it's assigned there. So it will pick that user and it will send from that number. All right, so it's just sending that message now. So, okay, so the timestamp's gone off on that. That's a little bit tricky to show. If you guys can see on here, I don't know if it will come up, but that's from the second number. So it says discover local on there. So that's the second number on there. If I take this out, if I unassign the user, and if I put them back into, I'll just make sure they're removed from there. If I put me back into that workflow and send it again. So there's no user assigned now. So it's saying here's an SMS from, but there's no user assigned. So that's just sending that out. Okay, now that one is sent from, I don't know if that doesn't show up too well. That's myCRMSIM demo. So that's come from the second number. So high level is just working that out depending on what user is assigned. And if there's no user assigned, it will just go from the default account. Okay. So the question after that is generally, well, how do we manage the leads as they come in and how do we assign them to accounts? Because people want to be able to distribute leads. So if you're trying to send more messages, and that's why most people want this, they're kind of, depending on what the SIM card is or the plan that you're using, there's a fair use policy in place, right? Everybody knows that. All the SIM cards that you buy, they're unlimited, but there's a fair use policy. So we are unlimited, as in we will let you send as many SMSs as your SIM card will allow. Okay, we don't govern that at all. It's all unlimited, and the SIM cards that you buy are unlimited. But the telcos, they have their fair use policy in place, and that completely depends on the telco, in the country you're in, whatever their policies are. We've seen some where they say unlimited, and they might have a number. They might give you a number and actually say what it is. And then there are some that say unlimited. There was one, I think it was in the UK, one of the clients came back to us and they said, oh yeah, I bought this plan, said unlimited. And then what they found out is it was unlimited, but it was limited to contacts, and they could only send to a maximum 300 contacts, I think it was, per month. But as many SMSs as they wanted to 300 contacts, but they had 2,000 leads in their database, so that didn't work. So they had to find a different plan. So if you've got, let's just do some simple math, I guess. Let's say you've got a SIM card plan which says unlimited, but if you know the number is 10,000 SMSs per month, you might want to split, and you might send more than this, but let's just say you're going to send one SMS per month to each user in your database and you've got 20,000. You need to split those evenly across 2 cards if the math worked exactly right. Obviously, this is hypothetical, guys. So how do you do that, and how do you split those across your accounts? There's a few different ways of doing that, right? I'm just going to show you one idea here. You guys know how to use workflows and stuff. We're actually going to start doing an open office hours type thing once a week as well as these sort of feature trainings and stuff like this. Yay, Matt. So what I want to do is have like a more open session in the future where guys, you can come along and just go, hey, this is what I'm struggling with or I can't do, and have a more Q&A type session rather than where we're sort of delivering news and information, bringing guests in and stuff. So we'll start doing that probably in a week or so's time. We'll figure out a time and place that we can do that. And then you guys can come back and, oh, how do I do this? I'm having trouble with that, trying to figure out a workflow. And then we'll help you guys as much as we can with more, you know, like an open session rather than just me delivering stuff like this. But one way to do that anyway, if we're trying to split our numbers across two leads, across two numbers, if I go back to my workflows, there's a little assign user sample that I just did here. Now, depending on how you've already got things set up, you might have a lead form comes in, it's getting assigned to a salesperson. I don't know. So I'm sure everybody's got their own different way of assigning leads. I am not suggesting that this is the way you have to do it. This is just an idea and a sample, because I think we all know with workflows and a high level, there's like 50 different ways to skin a cat, right? So this is one example. Find the example that works right for you. And if you can't figure it out, obviously send us a support ticket, join the Q&As that we're going to start doing. I guess just understanding the concept is the important thing here. So this is one way of doing it, right? So if you have a trigger, so when a contact is created, and then we'll do a split and we'll say 50-50. So we want to split the numbers evenly across two SIM cards. We're just going with the very basic thing for that. Okay. And then I'm going to take that down path A. So on path A, I'm going to assign it to that user that doesn't have an assigned SIM to them. So that's just going to be my default in this case. And then for path B, I'm going to assign them to the additional SIM, which is my user 2, which is my second SIM that I added. That's a very simple way of doing it. Okay. Now, I know that there are people out there as well who are excited about this because they want to add multi-SIM. They've got people in different countries and they want to set up a number for Australia. They want to set up a number for the US. So you could do exactly the same thing here. Add a US SIM, have your Australian SIM, and then what you might want to do here on your split, or you might want to have, sorry, not necessarily a split. You might want to have, instead of that, you could do if else and say the contact details, phone contains, and then for the US would be like +1. Then we'll add a branch, contact details. Oh, sorry, phone contains, and then for Australia we'll do +61. Save that, and I'm just going to move. Oh, that one to there. I'll delete that. And then, sorry, I would call this, so this is US numbers. God, my typing is not getting any better, guys. AU numbers. Okay, so all I'm doing there is saying, okay, when a contact's created, if the phone number contains +1, so the start code for the US, take them down that branch and assign them to the US SIM. If you've got a US SIM, if it's an AU number, if it contains +61, take them down there, go to the Australian SIM. We've got a none here. So you could always do for that, because you obviously want them to go somewhere. Go to, and whichever one you want them to go to, whichever one you pick as your second, your preferred default one. Okay, whether it's Australia or US, whatever it might be. Okay, so that would take care of that if you wanted to split it across different numbers for different countries, different zones, different regions. Any questions, I think, guys? Because that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I think we made it.
Well,
How would we
Well-
send our list through the, like, something like this? So if we were to bring in the numbers, would the trigger be contact created? How would we automate the contact creation process from like a database?
If you were doing like a database reactivation,
Yeah,
yep, easy. I'll just save this. So in our snapshot, so have you seen our snapshot? Sorry, I didn't catch the name. Who was talking?
Megan.
Sorry, who was it? Megan. How are you, Megan? Have you seen our snapshot, Megan?
I've looked at them, but the only reason I'm even going to use high level is because of your software. So I don't really pay too much attention to that. So show me, please.
Amazing. All right. So we give you a snapshot, which has got a bunch of different workflows in there, one of them being database reactivation, okay? So we have this workflow here. For anyone who doesn't know this and wants to send database reactivations without burning your SIM card, use this. Don't burn your SIM cards out, okay? So I'll explain this very, very quickly because if you haven't seen it before, what you want to do with a database reactivation using a SIM card is add them to this workflow. Okay, you could just import your list and add them to this workflow, right? Now we've got a drip mode here. So we will drip, and fastest we recommend going is like 1 per minute, all right? Shouldn't be any faster than that. Now, what we've got on here at the moment in our standard workflow is just assigning them to the user, all right? So we're going to assign to a user. We just normally do that in our workflows anyway. And then we have a little note to update it. And then we do a split. So what we try to do with our database reactivations to avoid getting penalized or getting your SIM cards burned is to make sure that you go through different paths, randomize the times, randomize the messages, make sure that you are staying within your carrier's fair use policy. And again, that varies, guys. So you really need to try and find out what that is with the carrier that you're using. Even just call them up, because like I say, I'm aware of massive differences between ones that will only allow 300 contacts a month. There was Out, who's in New Zealand, who sent like 20,000 contacts through one SIM card last month, which is pretty huge. So there's a wide variation, but if you exceed what the carrier thinks is their fair use policy, they'll shut your card down, okay? So to try and avoid that and make it look more natural, we have that drip mode, then we split it, we take them down a path, and then we put them into a little drip again, and we randomize the times here on these drips so that you're not going every minute on the minute anyway. We're going at slightly different times. So we kind of drip them again. And then if we have variations of the messages, okay, and we wait a few seconds, and then we send out the second part and we vary these messages, then what we end up here is like a randomized time with different messages, and they won't even end up sending an order, because as this goes through and rotates, you know, this will start that this one will end up going before this one, and it just randomizes the messages more and more, okay? So that's just a quick explanation on how to use that. To answer your question though, Megan, how would you do that to assign to different SIM cards? So let's just assume that you were going to use 4 SIM cards, because I've got 4 paths on here. I'll just move this action from here. Okay, and then I'm going to copy that to here. Copy that one to here. Copy that one to here. So now if I've got, well, actually I could have 3 SIM cards and the default. Okay, so that would be 4 altogether. So in the first one, I could leave this blank. That would go off of my default SIM card. Okay, the main number for your account. Okay, I could assign this one to the first user that I've got a SIM card on. I've only got 2 SIM cards in here, right? But hopefully you just get the point. I would have to assign this to another user and make sure that they have a SIM card assigned to them. And obviously I'd have to create a new user and assign a SIM card to them as well. Okay, and then if you just drop your list into here, so you can import them into high level, and when you import, and on the import, there's an add to workflow option. You just add them to the workflow, pop it in here, they'll funnel through, they'll get assigned to a user at each step as they go through, and that will distribute it across all your SIM cards evenly. Any
You're
questions on
awesome.
it?
You're like text message ninja. I love it.
Well, I look forward to hearing how you go with it. That's what I want to see.
So
Any
Gary,
other-
just to confirm with this, the multiple SIM cards, you don't need multiple devices for it.
So you can use a dual SIM. So a dual
Yeah.
SIM will allow you to run 2.
Okay.
If you want to run 4, then you'd need another device.
Right. So if though this setup that you've got here, that's 2 phones with dual SIM.
That would need to be 2 phones with dual SIM, yes.
Right.
You can always take a path out. Like, you don't have to do, 4 paths. You could take a path out, or, you could assign, like, I would generally recommend keeping the 4 paths anyway. And if you've only got 2 SIMs, like, assign one to the default. Oh, you could assign one to one SIM. Oh, I didn't save it. That's why I was not doing that. Assign one to one SIM, leave the next one as the default, and then you could assign the next one to another SIM.
But it's still 2 SIMs, right? So if you're dripping it out at 1 minute intervals and you don't have 4 different SIMs, then it's only going to go out to 2 different SIMs.
Sorry, say that again.
So sorry. So the way you've got this set up here, so it's split. Advantage is you could send out 4 times, like basically 4x.
If you've got 4 SIMs, yes.
4. But if you don't have 4 SIMs, then you're still going to be restricted to however many SIMs you've got in that one phone or whatever.
Correct. So if we use the 1 minute as a maximum, okay, and assuming that that's correct, and guys, don't take this verbatim from me, because you do need to check with your carriers, because some carriers might even have a problem with that, okay? But I'm just going to use the 1 minute as a maximum, because that's what I know that we can do in Australia, and it works well here. So because here right now, so hopefully this doesn't add to confusion, right? I've actually got 2 SIM cards attached in this account, right? This demo account. So I've got one path just going to the default. Next one is going to the second SIM. My next one is going to the default again. And then my next one is going to the second SIM. So I've actually got 4 paths, but 2 SIM cards, right? So that would allow me to half this and say every 0.5 of a minute. Okay? Because every half a minute is going to drop one in, and then that would basically be your 1 per minute for each one of those SIM cards. All right. By the time it goes across, it'd be like half a minute here, half a minute here. So then it would be a minute by the time it got to the default card again. Does that make sense?
Cards would be 0.25.
Correct. So exactly right. So if I had 4 SIMs or 4 SIMs, and I assigned to each one of those, then yep, I could make that 0.25. And then that would end up being 1 per minute to each account or to each SIM. God, it feels too early in the morning for math. But yeah, does that make sense?
So
Any
even
other-
if your phone allows for 8 embedded SIMs, you still need to use a different phone for each SIM?
What phone allows you to embed 8 SIMs? Because I would like to see it.
I have a Samsung, something I got here in El Salvador. I'll send you the model. And
I would
not.
love to see it. Does it allow you to run 8 SIMs at once though? Because I've seen phones that allow you to have, I think the most that I've seen is 7, but it only allows 2 to be active at a time, which is the challenge. So if you have something that you know of that runs more than that, I would love to see it.
I'll look at it and tell you exactly what it does, but I know that it said 8, and that's been my question I've been holding on to this whole time. So
Yeah,
I'll check and let you know.
if you can run 8 active SIMs on a phone, then yeah, I mean you could just duplicate this path and assign 8 SIMs, 8 users, run all that off of one device if that's possible on that device. But I'd like to see it, because yeah, what I've seen, there's phones there that will allow you to have, I think 7, like I say, 7 was the max I saw, but yeah, only 2 could be active at any one time. What else, guys? What other questions we got?
Question, Gary. Will the second SIM use the business name or the username when sending messages, or is it based on the template you set up?
Yeah, based on the template you set out. So what I had here, so this message that was going out here, it was using the username. So in that workflow, let's kick out of here. It's this one. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong workflow. It was this one. I
Probably the
think.
MultiSIM, yeah.
Yep, sorry. So many workflows, so many open tabs.
I know.
We all know how it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was all I was running through here. It was just this SMS. So it's here's an
Yeah.
SMS from username. So I
Oh,
mean,
brilliant.
you
Brilliant.
can always change that. You could make that, location name.
Yeah. Got
Yeah.
that.
So location
Yeah.
name. It's
Yeah.
just custom variables. It'll pull in whatever you
Okay.
want.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah.
That works.
Easy peasy.
The second is, can we have that link for the random drip workflow?
The link, it's the snapshot, mate.
Yeah.
It's in.
Oh, is there in there, is it? Okay.
Yep, it's all in here. So if you go to our knowledge base,
Yeah.
it's in there in the snapshot. Okay, you can download the snapshot from
Okay.
here, mate, straight from our
Sure,
knowledge
sure.
base. And then
Yeah.
there's videos for all of
Fine.
these. So that one, that drip campaign template that I spoke about, they're all in here. There's little videos explaining
Brilliant.
how they all work
Thank you.
for all of those. All right. And what we were talking about there as well, actually, if you look at these, I was saying, like, if you want to assign them based on the country code, for example, we've even got something that you could use for that. This one here is an update time zone, because we found, where was that, Carlos? We were getting leads from somewhere anyway, and the leads were coming in, had their phone number, but it didn't give us the country correct. So we've got a little snapshot here that will update the country based on the country code, and you could use a variation of this to assign SIMs as well. So take a look at that. Who else has got a question?
Are those snapshots available somewhere?
Yeah, it's in our knowledge base, mate.
Okay.
I'll drop it in the chat. You guys can go there. It's all. Where is the chat? There we go. Right in there.
And slightly unrelated, that back in your high level dashboard, can you go back to that?
In my dashboard, yep.
That stop bot, start bot, send review request, like all those things. Is that like a customized plugin or something you guys have bought for your dashboard?
So the myCRM bot, so that one there, those fields, they all get installed automatically with our snapshot for the bots. So to start, stop the bot. So that will be in there, and it's Louis, isn't it? Yeah, Louis, who's actually on the call, right?
Is he here?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, Louis. Yeah, because we were chatting yesterday, right? Yeah, so that will be installed in your account, Louis. So you'll see that. So if you stop or start the bot, or want to stop or start the bot, you can just use that in the workflow. So where's that, Carlos? That's in the SMS workflow.
In the folder, there's a yep, in the last one.
In this one?
No, in the first one. No, so the buttons are on the last folder. Gotta go to myCRM bot workflows. myCRM bot workflows, yes.
Yep.
Click there. The last one will have the buttons, and on the first of each trigger will have the filter.
Yeah, so there's just a bot button. So basically you can change it to start or stop, and then that will add a tag or remove the tag, and it will allow the bot to actually run or not run. So effectively, when
It's easy to
you're
write a tag. Like,
yeah, because you might run them through a database reactivation campaign, for example. So if I go back to this automation, this is a good tip here, guys, as well. If I go through this automation here, that drip campaign, the random split test. So to make sure to start the bot or to activate a bot, basically, you can use that field in here. Okay, so once they go into this workflow, you can start the bot. Now I'm going to show you something here because I've made this mistake, right? Contact field. Start bot. Okay, save that. Okay, so when you drop a lead in here, as it goes through, we'll turn on the bot. Okay, so we'll say, all right, start the bot. So that means if they would start replying, you've set up a bot, then the bot can start to reply to that person. All right. Now, I've done this before, guys, and put it at the start of these, and that's generally can cause you problems, right? Because if you put it here, the minute that they go through this and you send like the first message, that person could reply immediately before, in this case, so sorry to explain here, we've got like a kind of two-part message that we normally do for database reactivation. So this here, for example, is like, hey, Matt, it's Gary from myCRMSIM. Just want to let you know something pretty exciting. We wait a few seconds and then we send out the second part. We're having an epic offer. Would you like me to put one aside for you? Okay, whatever your thing is, right? We generally recommend send out DBRs and split up the messages, right? If you have the start bot at the beginning here, if that person gets that first message and then there's a few seconds delay, if they've got their phone in their hand and they see this, they could reply to that straight away and just go, what are you talking about? Or whatever it might be, right? Because they haven't got the second part of the message and the content. Yeah, that's right, man. Exactly, right? I saw that, man. I see you. So they haven't got the second part of the message, right? So what you should do when you're using the bot field, I'm going to move this. Don't put it until you actually want the person to reply. So I would be copying this across. Okay. So now, if you're using the bot and the start stop to turn it on and off, that bot will not start engaging with the person until they've actually received both messages. Okay. Otherwise, that can just cause confusion for a person. What else we got, guys? I've got to get to show you the new Grey Label app as well, yeah? Will I just jump onto that one? All right, cool. So let me... Now, all this as well, so sorry, guys, I just want to show you just quickly. If you go into... I'm sure you guys are going to have questions or things. If you go to our install docs in the support center for MultiSIM, you can go in here at the installation step, adding multiple SIMs. All right, there's a little video here, just a walkthrough. So once you get off this call and you go, I cannot remember what Gary was talking about, just go here, watch this. It's like a 5-minute video. We run through adding an extra SIM card and then just that idea of splitting the leads across as well with that little sample workflow that I just ran through for everyone as well. So just make sure that you know that that's there. I'll try and I think this is on Facebook. I'll add this link with the live once it's gone out or once it's completed. So let me just, actually, I'll go to, yeah, let me just do this. Android, try and cast this Android phone. Give me 2 secs, guys, while this just connects. Reconnect. All right, we are on. So let me just switch screens here to that one. All right. So our app that you install on the phone is now gray labeled. I'll try and get this out of the way because I have a tendency to do this and then stop the casting. All right. So this is what the app will look like now when it's installed on the phone. So it just says SMS Gateway. There's no mention of myCRMSIM. And when you open it up, okay, it just says SMS Gateway on here, SMS Gateway operational. That's all there is on the phone now, guys. So no mention of myCRMSIM anymore. Nothing that ties it back to us, to high level. Some guys were sort of concerned that maybe there were some questions they were going to get from clients around that. So we've just gray labeled that for everyone. So with that, let me just go back to our support center quickly. In here. Now we haven't finished updating the docs on the installation here, but like your clients are not going to come here anyway. Your clients won't come and see this. So we've just got to finish updating our install docs here. But there is a new link to download the app from, okay, which is this, getmysmsgateway.app. Now, that's going to try and open the thing. Open that. If anyone, so you can give that link now to clients to download the app themselves. If anyone goes to that website, that's all they're going to see. It's just a very basic landing page. All right, just my SMS Gateway app. Easiest way to connect your CRM to your Android device. That's it. That's all they'll see. There's no mention of myCRMSIM anymore. And if they go to, if you go to the white label doc that we've had for ages, we've updated all this because this was probably the more important one to get done. So if you're getting clients to install their own phones and just put the app on there, if you don't know about it, then this doc has been here for a while. But we've just updated all of this with new screenshots. So sorry, let me just go back here for 1 second. So there's a quick video here to walk you through it. And then you can use this instruction document. So if you click on that, it's going to open up a Google Doc. It'll ask you to make a copy. So you'll make your own copy for your agency. Okay, now just rename it and save it wherever you like. Okay, you can brand this, stick your logo on it, stick your company name on it, whatever you like on there. And now in here, it just references the SMS Gateway connection. There's no mention and no imagery with myCRMSIM on here anymore. So the step-by-step instructions, you can now give that URL straight to your client. Okay. The instructions here are all just SMS Gateway, the SMS Gateway. You still need to put your agency code on there, and then it's just the SMS Gateway. So there's no mention of myCRMSIM anymore. Okay, all gray labeled for you guys. So that's the new launch of that as well. So that's pretty simple. Operationally, it's still exactly the same as it was before. Just makes things a little bit cleaner for everyone to get clients on board that are maybe remote from them and they want them to have the phone. Any questions on that? I can see there's some messages in the chat, which I'm going to try and open up here. Heidi, any update on choose the SIM, eSIM you want to connect? Can you elaborate on that for me, Heidi?
That was the thing we were talking about when we have a SIM and an eSIM on the same phone, and making sure that it's the correct SIM that's connected.
Yeah, so you can pick and just say don't connect their personal one.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, we've been busy obviously getting these things out. I'll be chatting to the guys tonight and we'll get that one pushed out as well shortly. So thank you for thanks for that, and we'll get
no worries, just wanted to because you're doing updates anyway.
Yeah, I've got nothing else to do, Heidi, you know.
Please.
list's getting so short now. Like we're running out of things to do, honestly. No.
Don't worry, I'll keep adding it to it.
Yeah. So what we'll do with that basically, that's going to be a case of in here. So just to explain, so what Heidi mentioning here, so she's got a client and they've got a dual SIM on their phone, and we're only using one SIM, but because both SIMs are connected, it does get the messages off of their other SIM into the back end, and we want to remove that. So we're going to add the option. I don't know how it's technically going to look in the back end, but effectively when you add a device, so you can see here we've got a dual SIM, we will be able to say, yeah, only use this one, for example, right? So let's say that this is the person's personal SIM and this is their work SIM that they're using for to connect to high level. We're going to say, yeah, don't pull that SIM in, like disconnect it and ignore it basically. So that way there's not any privacy issues or anything like that for clients. So yeah, we'll get that one sorted out. What else have we got on here?
So at the moment, Gary, these are physical SIMs in the phones, this system, right? But are you saying looking forward it will incorporate eSIM?
Oh, eSIMs work now.
Oh, okay.
Yep. eSIMs work now. Mostly, these are physical SIMs in this phone here, mostly because dual SIM eSIM phones are more expensive. Like typically you're looking at sort of $500 plus for eSIM phones. So they're a bit more expensive. I think there's Google Pixel 3a, which I know some people have been buying. Got that in here. I'm always going to reference back to this, guys, because I know that all the stuff is in here. If you're looking here at the phones, phone specs, I think it's Google Pixel 3a. Yeah. So Google Pixel 3a, this just got dropped in here because there's a fair few clients that found these and they were getting them refurbished on like just online mobile phone refurbished sites, fairly cheap for like $250, $300, I'm gonna say, but I can't remember if that's exactly correct. But those were the cheapest options that they were finding for dual eSIM. Other than that, I know that one is a dual SIM and that's around about $200. I can't remember for the other ones off the top of my head, to be honest with you. If you wanna, like the cheaper option is to buy the ones with the physical SIM anyway. If you really want to use eSIMs because you don't want to go to Woolies or a store and get a physical SIM and plug it in the phone, there's another option in here. In the phone. How to make any phone eSIM compatible. All right. So if you go to this, there's this thing, a 5BR eSIM card. All right. Basically what that is, I think I've got one here. I've got to set one of these up because I want to stick a US number on. It's this little thing here. So this is a physical card, but you pop this into the slot on the phone and then you can download eSIMs onto this card. So this isn't a SIM card per se for an account, but you put this into a phone and then you can download an eSIM onto the phone. All right. So these cost, I think, if you use this link here anyway, in our knowledge base, you get 10% off your order. I think these are $20 for two or something, I'm going to say. Well, yeah, 12 US dollars. So yeah, about $20 or something like that. So you get a couple of these for, let's call it 12 US dollars, 20 Australian dollars, give or take. And that will allow you to actually turn a cheap physical SIM phone into an eSIM phone if you really want to have eSIMs. What else we got? Let me just roll back through. Matt, that's a lot of burner phones. Megan, what are you hiding? Maybe we shouldn't ask Megan. I don't know. Matt, good hack. What's that, Craig? Only when you download it, they go to the myCRM page still. Answered. Okay. That's what you got your answer there, Craig. If there's anything else, shout out, Matt. ID clarified for Matt. Sukumar's gone. Any other questions, guys? We're pretty much coming up on time, but I think we've run through everything. If you guys got any questions, shout them out. You guys got use cases? What are you thinking for MultiSIM? Tell us what you're doing. Everybody quiet, shy?
I'm obviously pretty new to this, so I didn't like ignorantly kind of thought that, like, how is this different to what was previously? Or is it not? Is this just a specific training on what it can do? Like with the multi.
The difference is the MultiSIM. We didn't have that released until last week.
Oh, okay. The multi-sim on the same device.
Not even on the same device, just the ability to add an additional number to a sub account. Before you could only add one number to a sub account. That was it. Now you can add as many as you want.
So, for example, Matt, with me, so I own a virtual assistant agency, as I mentioned in the chat. I have team members who I want to protect that they are not using their own personal phone number, their contractors, but I don't want them to have their phone numbers into and clients ringing them on their own personal phone numbers. So I can now add additional numbers to my account. I can assign that to my bookkeeper, my payroll officer, my EA. I can assign that to them. So now they can text the clients directly. All that communication is held in GHL. And I know I can keep across all of those text messages. And I know that their privacy is respected and that my clients are not contacting my contractors directly.
So I mean,
that's another use case.
We do that with our staff, but they all have Twilio phone numbers. So it just replaces that.
Correct. Yeah. Because with Twilio, you can do that. Like you can assign a phone number, you can buy as many numbers as you want, and you can assign them to a user with Twilio. It's exactly that. Yeah.
That's what
But I'm in New Zealand, I can't use that. So I need this myCRM for exactly that, to be able to replicate that.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear
that. It saves me money. I'm happy.
I'm just going to write that down on the one other thing we can add to Sledging Kiwis.
No, that's our market. Go away.
All right. Anything else, guys? I don't see any other questions in the chat. I don't know if anyone posted anything of you. I don't know if anyone put any questions on the live there as we're going, Carl. So if you want to have a quick look on there, just see if they did. Probably watching this while having breakfast or a cup of tea or something. All right. Anybody got any use cases, something they want to share before they go, how they're going to implement this and what they're going to do with it in the business? JP, you must have something, mate. I'll put you on the spot.
Probably from our perspective, Gary. So you've been talking with Nick quite a bit around all those reviews and things he's been doing.
Oh, yeah, I think I'm talking to him this afternoon, actually. Is Nick your business partner,
he's
is he?
my business partner.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah.
Yeah, so he had a few questions put up in the group around, what was it? He sent out 145 messages in 3 minutes, I think it was, around that drip mode thing, because he forgot to put drip mode on in his workflow.
Yeah, not good.
So, and then he figured out it's going to take him like 3 days to send out all the messages, being, I think over here we've got 2 minutes apart.
Okay.
So I'm in New Zealand as well, Heidi. Hey, and on 2 degrees specifically, it's about 1.5 to 2 minutes is what we've worked out. So yeah, for us, I mean, we can now shorten that by having more SIM cards dedicated to a sub account, I guess. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's that thing, and I think everybody just needs to. It's a change from thought with Twilio, where Twilio you can just bang out the messages and it's good to go. Like, even though you're sending it out through automations and high level, I just say to people, remember that rule of thumb. All right, you can't send messages faster than if you were physically doing it yourself. If you're doing that, you're going to blow it up.
yeah.
With the exception of, I say with the exception of, like, it does seem if you were to like batch out, say, 20 or so, 20 to 30, like in one mass blast, that seems okay. Now, I have no insider knowledge on this, but that just seems to make sense, because if you think about it, right, as humans, it's not unfeasible that we would send one text message to like 20 or 30 people at once, because we might be organizing a party, right? So it's just a group text.
Yeah.
So if you just do that every now and again, then that's fine. You know, they've got algorithms and they've got smart stuff going on. These are billion-dollar companies and stuff they're
Yeah.
looking for automation. They're looking for stuff to go, all right, well, no, that's being abused, basically. That's breaking our fair use policy. But, you know, if you just had 20 SMSs, you wanted to just quickly pop out and you did that now and again,
Yep.
probably going to be fine. 140, probably got too many friends.
Gary, I'm talking to Dooley the other day, and he was saying that he doesn't use this system, so he can do a mass campaign like broadcast at one hit, like boom, to like thousands of contacts.
Yeah, because he's dealing with car dealerships and the high ticket items and the cost for them. They'd rather pay the cost for Twilio so that they can smash them all at once.
Oh, right.
Rather than doing it on drip.
So where Twilio will do it, it'll just cost him more.
Correct. Yeah.
Per text message.
Yeah.
So he's not going to get flagged for like spam or whatever that you would do on a cell phone.
No, but then you're going to be paying whatever it is, 5.5, 6 cents per SMS with Twilio per segment. Plus you're then paying for replies.
Yeah.
So it just works out a lot more expensive. Like at the end of the day, and I tell everybody this, like it's an awesome system. It's not an enterprise system. If you want to be smashing out, you know, bulk messages of, you know, even, you know, 200-300 at once, you can't do that through a SIM card. It has to be dripped out. For some people, you know, some people are doing webinars and they want to be able to knock out a reminder for a webinar, you know, 10 minutes before to 200 people. That's not an option with a SIM card. You'd have to drip that out. So 200, it's going to take you a few hours to send that out at 1 per minute. Okay, and for a webinar, for example, that may not be acceptable.
So with this system, would you have, if that is the case, would you have a dedicated number in there for mass broadcasts, like in your sub account, like a Twilio number?
Yeah, you can't really mix it up. You'd have to change the custom provider over to Twilio and then flick it back to myCRMSIM. We don't have an ability at the moment.
Or do broadcasts out of a different sub account?
Yeah, broadcast out of a different sub account. There is another, I've got to look at it actually, because I was talking to some of the guys, I think it was Jackson who told me about this at the agency Ignite. There is a service for Australia where you can do broadcasts and you can tell it what number. I've got to test this, so I'm just letting you know, because I'm going to have a look at this. But you can send out the broadcast from this online service and tell it what number you're actually sending it from. So you could use your myCRMSIM number, say we're broadcasting from this number, do a mass broadcast, and then the replies would actually come back into high level. So that looks like a potential option for people in Australia, but I'm looking at that and then seeing if there's another one, which is maybe like a global one where they can do different numbers as well, but I haven't found one yet.
Can you get that sorted today, please?
Yeah, mate. When do you want it? Is it 11 o'clock too late, or is that okay? I'll send you the link. You can try it.
It's past 11 o'clock where Heidi and James are, so.
Oh, all right. God, I'm failing. I'm failing you guys. I feel bad. Okay. I'm going to have to wrap it up there, guys, because we've got to jump on. I've got a call in 10 minutes. Unless you've got any last questions, shoot them through.
Thanks, guys.
Beautiful, guys. We will see you next week. Got Jason Rule coming next week from, oh, I'm going to say it wrong, JHL. They create plugins. I think it's JHL plugins. I'm sorry, Jason, if I get that wrong. Jason Rule's coming next week because he's got a cool little plugin that we've been testing for workflows and stuff. So he's going to come in next week. So we'll try and keep these to generally either like announcements for us, having people in to do training, and then we'll set up like a Q&A one where you guys can just come in and just go, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. How do I do it? And then we'll try and help you guys out with that in the future. Sound good? Beautiful. Thanks, Heidi.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Take care.